It's no fun to say to men that you love, go out and get killed. And we've had to say it. And by God, they have gone and they have won. But I want you to remember that the sacrifice that these men have made must not be in vain. This war, as I said, is only half won.
Alrighty, welcome to the brand new show, brand spanking new. As a matter of fact, we probably just put this last coat of shellac on it the last couple of days. Anyway, let me go ahead and to address this. Patton hated commies. Yep, my kind of man. Riley's book is probably bullshit. It's killed by the people who really run the world. And, well, you brought up the subject. Well, yes, we did. Great animation, Todd. Yeah, agreed. All right. This started out as just me and Todd wanting to, do a show together because he never gets to come on the weekends because he's so busy. 5 kids, running a business and running his wife's business and, making up, everybody's graphic designs and stuff like that. He's a slacker.
That's entrepreneurs know no such thing as this thing you call weekend.
Weekend.
Wait,
you mean
there's an end to the week? I just thought it just turned over into a new week.
Anyway, I got you two overachievers here, so this is going to be I'm going to be the slacker among this group. Anyway, so this is Todd, Tank, and T Bunny. This show is What's the Story? And we started out with a nice, poll. And George S. Patton won the poll, which was a little surprising to me. He is up against Warren Worthington III, Abraham Lincoln, and Dr. Manhattan. Dr. Manhattan made a comeback, though. He came really close there towards the end, but Patton edged him out. Anyway, so I guess everybody wants to talk about Patton. Of course, nobody showed up for the conversation, but here we are. Anyway, this is posterity. So what we're trying to do here is we are trying to basically look at both fictional and non-fictional characters, and basically look at them from the lens of what's their story, and we decided to kind of our framing apparatus is going to be we'll make a card for them, kind of like one of those Fleer Marvel cards. I got a whole set of the medals right here. Remember those? Yeah. got them just hanging around. But tonight we're going to finish up the product. We're going to finish with a card made for Mr. Patton, and Mr. Tank Ferret is going to draw the man for the card, and Todd has been doing a graphic design work on it, and we'll reveal that at the end. We're going to make an assessment of the man's ability, like you would on the back of a card. So just breaking down to his bare essence, you know. I voted for Dr. Manhattan. I thought we were all termites. He thought we were all termites. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's an interesting character there. I think we'd probably have pretty maxed out all the bars, though. You know, I don't even know.
He's got 10 and everything.
Yeah, I don't know how you'd even quantify him. He's he's like a god or something, you know. It's like whatever.
Or as the kids call it, Omega tier.
And mega tier, right.
Mega tier.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's talk a little bit about Mr. Patton. We did a little bit of a deep dive on the gentleman. Now, he was born in November 11th, 1885 in San Gabriel, California.
Yep.
Died at age 60, 1945 in Heidelberg, Germany. Okay. This is post-war
In a
Germany.
car accident.
In a car accident of dubious, you know, according to some, dubious. Yeah. Anyway.
We're going to get into conspiracies, no cannabis.
Yeah, we'll save the conspiracy stuff for Justin.
Yeah, we'll try to stay on this side of the tinfoil hat. Okay, I promise. We'll stay on this side of the tinfoil hat. Justin's already said, "Hey, the Patton's death. Maybe that's one we should go into." That's like, whatever, dude. We'll put it on the list.
I'm a little biased.
Uh-huh.
That yes, absolutely should cover that. I would be really appreciative.
Well, anyway, one thing that was really odd that I discovered about him, he's a devout Christian, but he believed in reincarnation.
Oh yeah.
Nah, so how do you how do you put those together? That was a little odd. That's a little odd. But he actually
more literal to the whole concept of being born again, right?
Yeah, literally. But it's not quite the Christian concept of born again, but you know, it is what it is.
Christ gives you new life, a new life.
Right.
A new life.
Right. This life gives you new life in this life. You know.
Yeah.
Anyway, but he believed he was like a warrior from way back, mainly because from the time he was a little Georgie, he had always believed that he was a warrior. That he'd always had that, you know, desire to fight, desire to conquer, you know. We've got a Hojo sighting. What's up, man?
Hojo.
Hey.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll tell us all the wonderful things that he's doing while he's supposed to be watching our stream. Anyway, he'll fill us in. That's what he usually does. Oh, okay. Look, watching Clemson the other day. He was watching Clemson anyway. So he was born in a wealthy California family. Enjoyed a privileged childhood. His early years were marred, however, difficulties in spelling and reading. He was dyslexic. Add on to that, his father didn't trust organized education, and so he didn't even see a public school till he was 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
One second. Lame fact: I briefly lived in the town where George C. Scott was born and played the good general. Yep, he did. He did.
You know, that was required watching when I was at armor school.
Oh, really?
Fun fact. Huh. I was a tanker in the U.S. Army.
Oh, hence Tank Farron.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, and the George C. Scott movie was required watching.
Yeah, right.
He was such a great actor.
Oh, dude, for real.
Yeah. It just had a gravitas about him. It really did. Let's see. Hey, man, I got to split my time with my friends and family evenly. I'm here now. Enjoy the moment, bask in the mojo. Okay, all right. Okay. All right. We appreciate the time you've given us. So, OJ, okay. All right, man. Anyway, but yeah, so yeah, he by the time he saw, but when he was in public school, basically he was self-taught to read, and he's a voracious reader, and he was able to like catch up in time to make it into West Point. Uh, so he went from like illiteracy to at 12 years old to by the time he was 18, 19, he had caught up and got good enough grades to get into freaking West Point. So genius, pretty much. But yeah, I mean that's pretty tough there. His family fought for the Confederacy on the Confederacy side, and he was because of his family background. He spent a year at the VMI, Virginia Military Institute, before he transferred to West Point.
Because he was failing in math, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Anyway,
he was a
but,
genius, but he
yeah.
just didn't like math.
Well, my brother was that way. My brother was a genius in every place but math. He just math did not click with him. And anyway, hello Belmont. Hey man.
What's up?
Yeah, but then he married Beatrice Banning Iyer, the daughter of Boston industrial tycoon Frederick Iyer, in 1910, May 26th. So basically, he spent the rest of his life as a rich man. He started kind of privileged, but spent the rest of the rest of his life as a rich man. But interestingly enough, that didn't cause him to be more corrupt. It caused him to be less corrupt because all the time nobody could buy him off. He's like,
right.
Bitch, my wife could buy you.
Right. Yep.
What can you offer me? But yeah, I mean, he would literally he passed. I mean, he passed up opportunity after opportunity. That other people would fall prey to because he was just so freaking rich. It just didn't matter. So that's an interesting observation there. Missing files on the accident. No official investigation. The autopsy was General Patton murdered. We're not going to go into that tonight, okay?
That's
I live
Belmont.
near VMI.
That's Belmont's.
I live near VMI. Don't know that. Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, Belmont, if you want to do it, we'll do it on cannabis and conspiracies, but we're going to stay on this side of the tinfoil hat tonight, okay? All right. Anyway.
My brother-in-law graduated from VMI, so
okay.
near and dear to my heart.
Yeah. It's nice. It's a great school. I guess Vanderbilt used to be a pretty decent school until it went totally woke. But the Vanderbilts likes to live. Their summer home is in Asheville. It's called Biltmore House. It's literally a castle in the middle of the freaking countryside. It's amazing place. Those people have more money than God. That was their summer home. It's a summer home. They basically built a French chateau in the middle of the freaking countryside. So we have no concept of how rich those people were.
You don't have a summer home?
Huh?
You don't have a summer home?
I do not have a summer home. No. I don't even have a winter home, okay?
I was going to say, my summer home is the same as my winter home.
Anyway, the next, while he was at West Point, he took up several sports, including fencing, to the point where he actually designed a saber that they call the Patton saber. So he was not the top. Funny thing about it, he wasn't like the best fencer there, but he just, I don't know, he just improved everything he came across. He just could not leave anything half-assed.
Yeah, just imagine that he was so like such a strategic type of thinker, and his
Yeah,
mind was just always working on strategy and always, and
yeah,
he probably thought if he had his own
right,
saber that was built specifically by him for him, it
yeah,
would give him an advantage.
right. And he didn't quite give him an advantage, but it was so
Yeah,
good that other people liked it enough that they used it. So I mean,
yeah,
anyway,
crazy.
he took that sport acumen to the Olympics in 1912. Uh, so he was in Olympic Games in Stockholm, Sweden in 1912 as a modern pentathlete, uh, including swimming, pistol shooting, running, fencing, and riding. But he came in. He dropped the first day. Uh, he dropped into out of the top into like 51st, I think, and because they said that his accuracy was off. His shooting had basically let him down. But he got real mad about that because they said that he had missed the target, and he's like, I didn't miss the target. I'm just too good of a shot because I've been shooting through the holes in the target. And so, because there was no way of proving that, then he dropped like out of 50. But by the
Oh, geez.
time the contest ended, even though he was in the hole that far, he wound up in fifth out of out of uh, out of everybody. Out of 42 contestants, he wound up fifth. So I guess he was like 40th or something like that. But yeah, so I mean, we're not talking about somebody that ever gave up. Okay, that's
Yeah,
pretty
and he
much
had the skills.
tenacity. Yeah, yeah, that's freaking tenacity right there, man. Um, then the next thing he did was he took part in the expeditionary force that pushed back the Pancho Villa invasion in Mexico, uh, and he was basically staff uh, on the staff of General Pershing, who Blackjack Pershing, John Pershing, who's another person we could probably cover at some time. Also incredible. The highest, I think he's still the highest awarded uh, like soldier in American history or something like that.
No, that would be Audie Murphy.
Audie Murphy, that's right, Audie Murphy. Up to Audie Murphy, he was most decorated. Anyway, but one thing about why he was in Mexico, George Patton, uh, he discovered automobiles. He discovered using vehicles as weapon.
Hmm.
Uh, and he was so intrigued by the idea that he as soon as these lumbering, cumbersome monster machines called tanks showed up. But the British first used them in World War One. Uh, he jumped right on it. He said, "This is the future of warfare. We need to be on the forefront of this." So he was a big proponent of tanks early on. I mean, we're talking. I'm gonna say early. I'm like he's the first guy in America that said we need to have a tank division.
He established the framework for what became the U.S. Armor School.
Right, exactly, exactly. So, so yeah, he was completely convinced by oddly enough, the way he got injured in World War One was that the tanks were so slow they had to be covered by a cavalry division, uh, and in that way, so they wouldn't have people like running right up to them and throwing grenades through the windows. Anyway, through the trash.
Mhm.
Uh, but they had to be covered by a cavalry division. Well, they got exposed. The line of tanks that he was over got exposed, and rather than retreat, he decided that they needed to attack. And so he jumps out of the tank and says, "Who's with me?" And about five other men said, "We'll follow you." And they basically charged the German infantry line.
Yeah, so he was riding on top of the tank, shooting as the tank was going.
Right. So yeah, so that's how he got injured in World War I. But I mean,
Crazy.
We are not talking about somebody lacking cojones here. Okay, cojones is if it was a superpower, this man would be a superpower.
What's your superpower? I have balls.
I have a big balls. I have huge balls.
Balls of steel.
Yeah, balls of steel. Yeah, definitely.
Balls of hardened battle steel. That's what I'm talking about.
There you go. The problem that he ran into over and over again, and this first started rearing its head in World War One, was that he didn't suffer fools very well. And if you're going to stay in charge in a chain of command, you have to suffer fools all the time. Okay, because there's a plenty of people that get those positions above you that did not get them from merit. They got them because of who they knew, or who knew them, and he never really was able to, eat the crow, kiss the ass. That was not in him, which basically damaged his career over and over again. Uh, Plus, the press hated his guts, and he hated them. Gee, I don't know. That sounds so familiar. Who do we know modern day that has balls of steel, hates the press hates them, and they can't kiss ass to save their damn neck? Who in the world do we know that's similar to that?
I'm right here drawing, dude.
Oh, yeah, tank. Anyway, I'm a little bit like that. So I can't kiss ass to say mine own, which is why I was in a entry position for 10 years. Anyway,
Yeah, so his boldness and his just rushing into, not necessarily rushing, but just not caring.
right.
He would just make a decision and go with it. It doesn't matter what
Mhm.
anybody thought, what anybody else, whatever. That got him into a lot of trouble.
Yeah, he had like his feeling of manifest destiny that if he came up with the idea, then it was the best idea possible.
Yeah.
And that total complete lack of I don't know. I mean, I don't say arrogance, but that confidence. He had a complete total of confidence. But at the same time, he would like cry at funerals. He wrote poetry to his wife. I was deeply in love with his wife. I mean, just courted her every time he was home. So I mean, you had the warrior, but then you had also the poet. So
Right.
I think the greatest people that you run across have that dichotomy. Where if you don't give a crap what people think about you, if you write poetry, you write poetry. You don't give a crap. You don't hide that stuff. It's not shoving it in the drawer. He actually published books. I think mostly on tank warfare, but I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't publish a poetry book somewhere. It wouldn't surprise me at all. His speeches were very poetic. He was very good at those speeches. But so his first command was of the Expeditionary Force. In I think it's North Africa, and he was U.S. 7th Army, in North Africa. But he was actually officially under Montgomery, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he hated Montgomery's guts. Hated
Oh
his
yeah.
guts. He was a limey Brit, and he did not like Brits.
Well, and Montgomery was a bit of a hack.
Yeah, he was.
Montgomery was just turn after turn getting owned by Rommel, being just generally an embarrassment. But Montgomery had fantastic political connections.
Oh, Montgomery was like connected to like royalty. I mean, he was not going anywhere. Okay. which boy, that chapped Patton's ass. Oh man, he hated that guy. So his solution was to beat Montgomery to the punch every time. Just subvert the hell out of his command and just basically like interpret the commands he was giving in creative ways. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it ended up pushing Rommel and his Africa Corps to their limit. I mean, Rommel was already playing a dangerous game by overextending his lines, and Patton just capitalized off of that.
Yeah. Patton. The thing now, Patton had the inferior tanks. Okay, I mean the M4 Sherman tank was like it didn't even. I mean, it didn't even hold a candle to those Panzers. I mean, Panzers were Mercedes Benzes, and those Sherman tanks were Trabants. Okay.
Well, and we didn't even have that many of them there at the time. The mainstay were Wolverines,
right,
which are open top tank destroyers. They're super light armor, and the M3, the Lees, and then the upgrade, the Grants, and those were just pure garbage, meant to fight the previous war.
Yeah. If you look at them, I mean, they have this like little tiny turrets on top and stuff like that. I mean, they I mean, these Panzers were just monsters, and that's how he had to fight. But his solution is apply the most weaponry at the weakest part of the line. And so what he would do is if he basically run fast enough that Rommel had to chase him and then extend himself, and then he'd swing back around and then attack Rommel's flank where he was at the weakest. It was a brilliant maneuver. It's still taught in tank warfare today. But funny thing about it was he ran into Rommel. And Rommel asked him where he learned that maneuver. He says, Rommel, you magnificent bastard, I read your book.
Yeah. And now people know where I get that terminology.
Yeah. He's like, you magnificent bastard, I read your book. I mean, just the ball. Like I said, cojones. This was a superpower. It was cojones. So anyway,
he just didn't care.
He just didn't care. He just had zero fucks to give. I mean that. I'm sorry for the terminology, but that's basically that was.
It's okay.
We're
talking about tankers.
Right.
Tankers are renowned for our foul language.
Right.
It's rumored that we only know two types of words: nomenclature and obscenities.
There you go. Right. So, his was give an F was broken, clearly broken in the factory, because he never had it. So anyway, what took him down was the press. It's kind of ironic there, because a soldier he was already irritated at Montgomery anyway, and he wound up taking it out on this soldier who had no physical injuries but was suffering from probably PTSD.
Yeah,
and he basically grabbed the guy up and shoved him out of the tent and kicked him in the butt. Told him to get back to work. and the press just happened to be there, and it's like all of a sudden, oh, click, 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 you know. And Eisenhower tried to head it off, but he couldn't head off, and it wound up costing Patton his career for a little while until they needed him again.
Funny how that works.
Funny how that works, yeah. But anyway, but they didn't immediately put him back in charge. They basically, since Rommel was in charge of the sea gate, he was pulled out of Africa and he was put in charge of the gate. They knew there was only one person that Rommel was threatened by enough that Rommel would move his troops if it was rumored that this guy was active, and that was Patton. So they used Patton as a decoy to make Rommel move before Rommel was ready to move, because they knew Rommel. If Rommel knew that Patton was, in Europe, that Rommel would immediately, marshal forces. So they used the rumor of Patton as a decoy, but Patton had to basically stand by and watch D-Day happen. But he was a big part of what made D-Day work, because Rommel heard that Patton was moving, and Rommel's like, he reacted because Rommel didn't respected him, in a way he respected few people. It was they had a mutual appreciation society going on with those two. But I mean, I guess bastard game respects bastard game.
That's right.
So, but then they had the battle during the Battle of Bulge. The Third Army was basically they got stretched. The front got stretched, and the Germans managed to pincher off a part of the front, and endangered thousands and thousands of people. It's called the Battle of the Bulge because that's basically what they did. They bulged at one part and cut off the part of the front, and then they had this emergency meeting where they were like, how do we like bring like somehow get basically bring them some support. And Patton's like, oh, I can do it. And he said, I can do it. I think he said he could do it in like 3 days. And they're all kind of like aghast that it's like, nobody can do it in 3 days. He's like, I can do it in 3 days. Give me the resources. And Eisenhower gave him the resources, and son of a bitch, he did it in 3 days.
Hold my beer.
Yeah. But he pushed his men probably beyond their breaking point to do it. But he got it. He got it done.
Oh, he had a few tricks up his sleeve. The paint, the white paint that Patton specifically used on the inside of the tanks. We actually, at least up until when I was serving, 2004 to 2000 to 2005, we were still using that same paint. Wow. And the story behind it is that it was so stinky, right, as it was drying, that it could cover up the smell of rotting corpses. And he would lead recovery efforts on the battlefield in the dead of night to go grab any tank that wasn't burnt out. As long as it wasn't burnt out, it was still good. And they'd patch holes in it, repair any damage, and slap that paint in there and throw a new Crüe in there.
Yeah, basically a coffin.
Yep.
But it's like, oh yeah, it's just if you see some red stains, ignore it. Yeah.
Oh, that's what the white paint was for. No red stains.
Oh, that's right. There were no red stains. It's all white. It's all white. Yeah, it's all good. That's called whitewashing, right? It's called
yeah, right. The older definition. Yeah, sure. Nowadays we call it ghost in the shell.
You're right.
Oh, snap. I went there.
There you go. There you go. Oh, anyway. But yeah. So he managed to give him support at the Battle of the Bulge, managed to do it in 3 days, pushed his men to the limit, and managed to get there in time to make a difference and push the Germans back, probably saving the whole Western Front from being wiped out. The, and the Battle of the Eight Ball in particular is a very interesting battle in World War II. If you don't know what that is, go ahead and look it up. Anyway, so here he is. He's back in the catbird seat. He's back up respect and everything. What happens? What happened is Patton happened, and once again, he lost it again, just because. It just couldn't. He just ran his mouth off at the wrong time, at the wrong person, and lost it again. But he was in Germany, and he was being called upon to maybe run for president, and then suddenly he has a car accident, wherein he was the only one injured from a collision. Eastland Burkholder. Some say Patton was murdered. Yes. We have already talked about that. We're going to stay this side of the tinfoil hats. But he winds up being, he dies in Germany from his injuries, and winds up being buried in Luxembourg in a cemetery there. But it's interesting, his grave is facing the rest of the graves of the soldiers. They were the 3rd Tank Division. Were buried there, and that's where he was buried with the men that he commanded.
You mean Second Armored Division?
I'm sorry, 2nd Armored Division.
That's right. Fault. Hell on Wheels.
Yeah, Hell on Wheels. Right.
These were board questions when I was in the Army.
Anyway, so that's pretty much. I think that's from birth to his death. Any observations, Mr. Todd?
Yeah, so I think just what, one of the stories that I heard, or I guess I read, that, he was just, ruthless in whatever he did. And there was one instance where he, went in and had all these prisoners, and you're not supposed to kill all the prisoners, but he just obliterated them. And he knew that was the right thing to do, or he thought that was the right thing to do. And, then they, have to put out a press release, or they have to, tell the superiors what happened. He was like, well, just tell them that they were all snipers, and we just took care of them.
Yeah, they were all snipers.
So, for him, it was just, it was always strategy. It was always, whatever the right move is, whether it's the right move or not,
Right. Yeah, would Patton have made a good president, you think? Yeah, I think he would have made an awesome president.
Right. Yeah, no, for real. Well, one thing that Patton was very pissed off at FDR, because FDR was adamant on no racial integration of the U.S. military. Yeah. And Patton was like, I don't give a crap, what color their skin is. I just want to know if they can fight,
Right.
And but FDR was, FDR blocked Congress on that action, which surprises me that the leftists would even think FDR was even half a decent person. It's like, no, dude, come on, man. That guy was a racist piece of shit.
Yeah, he was. He was. Internment camps. Hello, internment camps. That was his idea. Let's see. Affirmative action.
His idea, too. It was.
Yeah, it was his idea. Okay, let me read some George S. Patton Jr. quotes. If everybody's thinking alike, then somebody isn't thinking. All right. It is foolish and wrong to mourn the men who died. Rather, we should thank God that such men lived.
Hell yes.
Love that one. Don't tell people how to do things. Tell them what to do and let them surprise you with their results. Now that's a leader. That's a leader right there. I love that. May God have mercy for my enemies because I won't. There you go.
Classic. Yep.
Lead me, follow me, or get the hell out of my way.
That's right.
Hurrah! Anyway, I'm sorry. That's Marine.
It's good, dude. It's where we get the phrase too.
There you go. There you go.
Get the hell out of the way.
Get the fuck out of the way, right? No dumb bastard ever won a war by going out and dying for his country. He won it by making some other dumb bastard die for his country. I love that one. I love that one. Better to fight for something than live for nothing.
Yep.
I love it. Love it. The soldier is the army. No army is better than its soldiers. The soldier is also a citizen. In fact, the highest obligation and privilege of citizenship is that of bearing one's arms for one's country. There you go.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he would have made a hell of a president. Okay, confirmed. The test of success is not what you do when you're on top. Success is how high you bounce when you hit the bottom. There you go. Pressure makes diamonds. Oh, he said that?
Yep.
Ah, okay. Cool. A good plan violently executed now is better than a perfect plan executed at some indefinite time in the future. There you go. I don't measure a man's success about how high he climbs, but how high he bounces when he hits bottom. That's a little variation of the earlier one. Anyone in any walk of life who is content with mediocrity is untrue to himself and to the American tradition. America first. Woo! Anyway. America. All right. Courage is fear holding on a minute longer. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Do your duty as you see it and damn the consequences. Yeah, that might cost him a few promotions. Wars may be fought with weapons, but they are won by men. It is the spirit of men who follow and of the man who leads that gains the victory. There you go. When in doubt, attack. Here's a little bit longer quote. A man who must know his destiny. If he does not recognize it, then he is lost. By this, I mean once, twice, or at the very most 3 times, fate will reach out and tap a man on the shoulder. If he has the imagination, he will turn around and fate will point out to him what the fork in the roads he should take. If he has the guts, he will take it. So, there you go. It is a proud soldier. It is a privilege to be a soldier, a good soldier, with discipline, self-respect, pride in his unit and his country, and a high sense of duty and obligation to comrades and to his superiors, and a self-confidence born of demonstrated ability. There you go. No good decision was ever made in the swivel chair.
Based.
He was a
What I like
jab,
about
man.
his quotes is they hold a lot of gravity because of who he was.
Right. Yeah. Accept the challenges so that you can feel the exhilaration of victory. There you go. If a man does his best, well, assist her. I like that. Anyway, an active mind can exist in an inactive body, and fatigue makes cowards of us all. That's his quote. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what I don't know why he liked Texans so much, but this is give me an army of West Point graduates, I'll win a battle. Give me a handful of Texas Aggies, and I'll win a war. Yeah. And my favorite, Rommel, you magnificent bastard. I read your book. That's good. Okay, that's good enough. That's good enough. Anyway, let's get caught up here. Let me see. Let's say effective action Patton, right? Patton was not caring about race or ethnicity. No, he did not care. So true about all thinking alike. Yeah. Yes, don't tell them what to do. Tell them what is needed. Yeah. Idiocracy, the movie that had that quote, lead, follow, get put out of the way, and a movie character says not supposed to take the third option.
Right.
I need to watch that movie someday.
Oh, you haven't seen that one? It's a great movie.
Yeah, I know,
It's
but
horrifying.
I can't get through the stupidity in the middle. I have trouble with it. Yes to a plan implemented now. Mediocrity is bad. Patton understood war. Yep. And what's up, Mr. Good Stuff? Hey, Mr. Good Stuff.
Hey, good stuff.
What's up, dude? What's up, dude? Anyway, so I guess it's time to make an assessment of what we've got here. So let me see. Let me bring up our. You got it, Todd. It's the card back, right? Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep. You're fired. You're fired.
Yay! Oh wait.
I was making a
this
list
job.
of stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, Todd's like,
let's
well,
do,
I've got so much
window.
stuff here, you know. Yeah,
This one.
he's involved. Anyway,
Yeah, give me just a second.
Yep. Looking good, Tank. You seem to have some extra inspiration this week, man.
I'm vaguely familiar with the subject matter.
There you go. All right. Add to stream. Okay. Let me bring this back out. All right. So this is the back of the. This is George Patton's back of his book here. Can we Can we zoom in a little bit?
I wonder.
All right. There we go. All right. I wrote this synopsis here. For all these years, General George S. Patton was a man of war, born into a wealthy military family, encouraged in all his pursuits. He chose to learn the ways of combat. At the pinnacle of fitness all his 60 years, he led Allied tanks from the front lines and maneuvers that stunted Rommel himself. A warrior of uncompromising determination, Patton remains the first name in tank maneuvers until this day. So that's my little biographical blurb. Basically, I wrote it kind of like you would a superhero card. But you guys agree with that assessment?
Yeah, it's basically patterned after some of the Marvel cards.
Yeah. So if he was a superhero, this is I think it's the way you'd write him, which he pretty much was. Yeah. Okay. All right. So strength. Just normal human strength. I think 3's pretty good. Speed. He was a pentathlete, so yeah, he was a little faster than the normal human. So
these are out of 10, but I just put the stars there. I didn't really.
Right.
What they really would be.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm seeing pretty good so far. Agility. Pentathlete would definitely have agility. Okay, I'll go with that. Fighting ability. He was
probably a few more than that.
Yeah. I'd say we a good 6 maybe there. At least with his relentlessness, somebody that relentless is not somebody you want to tussle with. I don't think. You basically you got somebody that has that many that big cojones, Yeah, it's not somebody you're gonna want to mess with. All right, so fighting ability, yeah. So we'll give him a few more on that. All right. Yeah. You agree with that, Tank?
Yeah. No, it seems. Oops.
Yeah.
Seems fair to me.
All right. Now the other, we're going to have to max these pretty much out. Leadership.
Yeah.
That's going to be
right there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, he did have a little lack of. Yeah, I'd say that's good right there. That's good right there. Yeah, but
Something like
he
that.
did had a little lack of compassion, but yeah, that's good right there. Intelligence, yeah, he was about a 7 or 8 intelligence, I'd say. I don't know that he was like sheer brain power as much as he was relentless and drive. So I think 6 is about good. What do you think, Tank?
Yeah, that seems about right.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, okay, all right, all right. Um, so yeah, yeah. So that's our assessment of Patton.
If
So
this
if
is out of 10, he probably
mhm.
would have about 2 more. One or
Oh,
two
okay,
more.
all right. Yeah, we're
Pretty
gonna make his
intelligent.
when we eventually we're going to put an image on the front of the card, that the image that Tank is currently working on. Uh, and this is going to be available later on down the road. Um, Horse sense, common sense. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. While he did do a lot of reading, and he did a lot of study. Um, he basically, I mean, somebody like Rommel was a genius. Okay, Rommel was a freaking genius. All right. And to beat Rommel, he didn't really outthink him. He just outmaneuvered him. You know.
Yeah, his strategy was what set him apart.
Right. Right. Because he was cunning. I think it's not necessarily intelligence, but cunning. He was very,
Right.
very cunning. Uh, because if you're intelligent, then you know better than to drag a soldier out and slap him around in front of press. Uh, so that kind of like a lack of self awareness kind of like did him no favors.
Yeah, I was gonna say it did him no favors.
No favors at all. So yeah, so what we have is you have I mean a probably a patriot without peer. Um, one of the great um, one of the great bastards of our time, uh,
Hmm.
America. You know, bred and proud of being American, but he also understood what this country was about. This country
Yep.
was about, you know, innovation. This country was about being there first and being there bigger than anybody else. And he was very proud of that fact, which got him in trouble with people like Montgomery, you know. So he's like, I mean, how many times do you think he probably mentioned to Montgomery, "Hey, did we kick your ass the last time we had war with you or something?"
Right.
He probably brought up those words a little bit, you know, knowing him. Anyway, so yeah, so this is definitely a formidable individual to start with. It's
And I
been a
listened
lot
to
of.
an interview with his driver,
Mhm.
and his driver said that he was just, a regular down to earth person. He never, was never like, he never yelled at him. He never was forceful with him or any of
Right.
that. He was just, no nonsense. He would, tell you like it was. He would tell you straight up,
Yeah.
but he wasn't that overbearing type of person that some may think that he was.
Well, I think the they say the victors write all the press, um,
Yep.
and in a lot of ways, when he wasn't around to defend himself, the very people that had spent their careers tearing him down had free reign to shape his legacy, and I'm afraid that they've tarnished him quite a bit over the years. But when you see the kind of loyalty he engendered in his men, and this was not somebody who led from the rear. He did not lead from a tent. He did not lead from a smoke-filled room away from the sounds of explosions. He was like right on the bluff above where the tanks were maneuvering, you know, giving orders. Or he was on the tank itself. I mean, this is not an individual who believed in leading from the back. And when you run into somebody like that in a leadership position, they tend to engender a lot of loyalty in their people.
Yeah.
Pretty much die for somebody that does that. If you show me that you're willing to put your own keister on the line, then when you tell me to put mine on the line, I'm more likely to do so. You know, and that's what we're. I mean, Leonidas. You know, those men went all the way to the grave by his side without hesitation. Why? Because that man was standing right there with them. He's putting his own butt on the line. In a lot of ways, and I think Patton thought he was like a reincarnation of Leonidas.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt in my mind. That would be one of the ones he thought he was incarnating from. He certainly had that behavior. So in conclusion, a great American hero, great American patriot, great general, and a one of the pinnacles of in military lore. Uh, don't believe all you hear about him.
Yeah, for real.
While doing this deep dive today, I ran across a lot of people spearing him. So it was a little. I was like,
Well,
"Geez, Louise, guys,"
well, let's be fair. If these days, if somebody has one flaw, they were
Yeah.
entirely a bad person.
Right.
We cannot acknowledge anything good they did,
Mhm.
and it's that's a subject for cannabis and conspiracies.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. We may put on the tinfoil hats on that one. Well, I put on the tinfoil hat to Belmont goes anyway.
It's just like,
So
oh man.
that's the division of labor. I'm the conspiracy. He's the cannabis anyway.
Yeah, Belmont would have a tinfoil bowl.
Yeah. There you go. He's laughing my ass off. Yeah. But Patton did not want his man's lives wasted. He would spend lives to get the objective, but hated unnecessary deaths. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
He's a
mourned
good leader.
every death. That speech I played at the beginning, you can hear his voice crack when he talks about the men. How important the men are to, you can't fight a war without men. You can't, and those brave men that give their lives. The what is it? The world saved by the blood of patriots.
That's right.
Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and begging you, Mr. Tank Ferret, and you show us what you're working on, my friend.
All right, give me a second to finish this next little area of flatting.
Okay.
I'm actually already on the flats for this.
Yeah.
That looks great.
Yeah.
Let me zoom out real quick.
All right.
I'll show you a little bit of cheating I did before
Yeah.
the show started with some Star Spangled nonsense here. There we go.
There you go.
Right.
That's gonna be cool.
Oh, let me get rid of that. There we go. Yeah. So we're still.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, because there was a difference between if you look at the uniforms, right,
Mhm.
for World War II, there was a difference between the green because he wore like desert pants, so they had
Right.
more of a khaki color. So that's why I put that down as a base.
Right.
I'll lighten it, darken it, and play with the mother color a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm having fun with this.
Yep. And eventually, this is going to be made a card.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to produce a card a week. But this is Mr. George S. Patton's week. He's the first candidate, and today we have covered what his story, what is Patton's story. I think we've done a good job on that today.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think we're doing pretty decent on that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So this is going to be available eventually once we get enough of these. It's going to be available for sale. But we'll have this completed, and when you come back next episode, we will have it to show you. Uh, Hopefully, we'll have a three-dimensional rendering of it so you can see what it looks like.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that'd be awesome.
running away to do real world stuff. Gotcha. Take care. I like the
Real
cards.
world. Gross.
Real world. What are you talking about? Well, I hear my friend Todd is buzzing, so I think he needs to go. Anyway, so all right, so that has been Cooper from Telepathic Bunny Comics here with it's been Tank, Todd, and T Bunny, and that's been the show. Thank you all for showing up tonight, and anyway. Hopefully we can do this again next week. We're gonna come up with some candidates for the next week, and we'll put a poll out on Sunday, and we'll have our candidate by Monday afternoon, and then we'll start working on that one. Anyway, thank you all for coming. Those who showed up, spread the word, share this file, and let people know this is out here. And if you are a Patton fan, you know other Patton fans, let them know this exists. This is already showing up in some searches for George S. Patton, so hopefully we'll get some history buffs maybe come on. Anyway,
would be nice.
That would be nice.
Yeah, I know. Please feel free comment down below. Tell us where we're wrong. Tell us what we missed. Please.
Yeah.
We
Exactly.
love your feedback. It just makes the show better.
Yeah. If you have suggestions for what we can do this better, or if you think we missed some facts about Patton, go ahead. And I'll read those facts next week and let people know what I missed. Anyway,
Awesome.
that has been Tank, Todd, and T Bunny. The show has been What's the Story? And y'all have a good night.
Thanks, guys.